says Mayers says he watched 8 of the large drones flying along the Yuma County border, while a single drone was spotted simultaneously hovering around 25 miles away over the town of Paoli. If you would like to support us, you can use the code Marfoogle on their website, or you can just go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. It helps support the channel, and it will eventually help us expand. Large non-government drones flying in mysterious grid pattern over Colorado. What in the heck is going on? With estimated wingspans of 6 feet, the aircraft have been covering 25 square mile plots of Phillips and Yuma counties every night between 7 and 10 p.m. for around a week. Phillips County Sheriff Thomas Elliott said Monday, adding that they have received 9 calls about the drones since last week. They have been doing a grid search, a grid pattern, he said. They fly one square and then they fly another square. But nobody knows who's flying them. What the hell, Dex? What do you think this is?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they've asked the government. They've, I guess the Air Force, the FAA. They've asked local companies, and they've asked the local authorities, and nobody is taking claim for this. But these things are flying in a grid pattern. They've been reported to be said. It looks like they're mapping. It's happening after dark. They're very large. Typically, those would be registered with the FAA and they would be able to know, and they can't figure that out. So, it's happening. The reports are going on day after day after day now. And I think I've heard some recent reports saying it's up to 30 potential drones in a big grid formation. And I've even heard that it's also potentially moving into the next state over.
Do you think this is mapping for a T attack? Do you think, what would this be? If it's not hobbyists and it's not government, could it be USGS? Could it be USGS?
Yeah, if it's nighttime, what is it going to be, infrared? Because you're not going to see anything in the dark unless it's infrared.
But then what would they be able to use? Would they be using? They would have to be using for heat signatures.
I guess, but they're also in a rural area. So on one hand, if you're doing a test, you're in a rural area. Are they doing a test to do something someplace else? Is this
over Colorado? What would Colorado be? I mean, that wouldn't be Yellowstone, right? Would they be looking for heat signatures? Are they looking for? That's not on the New Madrid or anything.
But I think if that was an official thing, they would probably be more. You would know who it was. There would be records of the flights.
Well, because they're 6 feet. Wait a second.
These are commercial size. These have to be registered.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where's the records of them?
They're not. There's no logs.
What? That's okay. So do you guys? This has to be illegal. It's not a hobby because this is a grid mapping formation. I honestly, that's just crazy looking. Says Mayers says he watched 8 of the large drones flying along the Yuma County border, while a single drone was spotted simultaneously hovering around 25 miles away over the town of Paoli. According to the report, it didn't move all night, just hovered over the town, while 8 more drones flew 10 miles away over the town of Haxton, Myers added. Overhead, they were probably doing 30 to 40 miles per hour, he said. They weren't racing or flying around with speed. One resident who spotted a drone last week gave chase. Elliott said driving behind it at about 50 miles per hour, but lost the drone when he ran out of gas in Washington County. It says the machines fly too high to be heard from the ground, but can be seen by their strobing white lights along with red, blue, and green lights. Myers suspects that the drones might be operated by a private company, although the machines haven't targeted any obvious landmarks or features. Sometimes they fly over towns, other times over empty fields. They do not seem to be malicious. They don't seem to be doing anything that would indicate criminal activity. But at the same time, they're not registered. If there's no record of them, then what the hell are they doing? They must have government permission. Or, since the government's denying it, is it somebody else's government? If you even I have my Mavic 2 Pro registered with the FAA because it is of a certain weight and size. That's why they just came out with the DJI Mavic Mini, because it was under 250 grams. I think that means, you don't have to register it with the FAA. That was a big thing, that they came up with one that was small enough and powerful enough to do some of the things that you do with a drone that wasn't registered. These things are 6 feet wide and they're not being registered. That is weird.
And Adam, it's being reported in Dual County, Nebraska, where they have been chasing the drones for the past few days. So at least 3 days this has been going on. So it's actually gone from Colorado and Nebraska.
What could this be? I want you guys to use all of your brains together. I want us all to dig deep and to find out what this is. Let us know. Give us a call at 2244-00-MARF. Let us know what you think this is. I'm not the knowing all Wizard of Oz. What do you guys think this is? This freaks me out. What the hell would that be? All right, you are live on Marfoogle TV. This is Adam.
Hey, Adam. How's it going?
Good. So, again, this is 11 Pagan 11, and you wanted to talk about Cascadia. NASA planes are now drones and methane exposure. As far as the NASA planes going up and down the coast, we covered that. You're talking about they actually have flight records of them flying all the way up and down the Cascadia fault line. Why? I mean, literally back and forth.
Yeah, and they got it to where they would have 3 planes up at a time. They would mostly have 2 on the West Coast and 1 sometimes in, around Texas area, sometimes, up around the New Madrid. Well, it seems like all of a sudden, once everybody started chatting online about, hey, we're catching these NASA planes on flight radar. Well, all of a sudden, NASA is no longer on flight radar anymore. Nobody can find it. It's been a week.
What?
That's just impossible. Exactly. They haven't been up in at least a week. And you can't tell me all these earthquakes have been happening in the Cascadia, off in the coast up by Canada, down by Oregon today, really bad. All these quakes are happening, and they're not up there. There's no way. So I think, everybody uses drones, and like you guys said, they don't have to register them. And so that's why they're doing the grid flight patterns everywhere, and they're using infrared because they're detecting the heat. And they're doing it at night because less people are moving around. And they're mapping these areas out grid-wise. And, everybody's flying drones, so nobody's going to...
Oh, my gosh. Wait a second.
Drone.
Oh, my gosh. What movie was that from? Oh, my gosh. What movie was it from where they were trying to... Was it How It Ends? Where they were trying to map it out to... So. Oh, my gosh. What movie was it where they were mapping it out because... they knew something was going to happen and they needed to get the... Oh my gosh. No, it wasn't even a movie. This was real life. This was a caller. Oh my gosh. Anybody that's here, please, some hardcore Marfoogle watchers, do you remember when the caller called in and he was related with military and they said that they were mapping everything out? Because after it, they need to put everything back together. I don't know if you've watched, but they're doing mapping projects because they know that the West Coast is going to be gone, so they need to map out and do all sorts of. Oh my gosh, Dex, are you there? Were you even around for this? This is a long time ago, and it just triggered in my head.
It sounds familiar.
They were mapping.
I was trying to search for it.
They were doing mapping projects before Cascadia goes off. Oh my gosh. And this was something we confirmed. And I would love it. I need to go to the chat. I need to blow this up real quick because I need to see if anybody... I remember Adam.
Someone
Yes.
said
I remember the
cemeteries.
caller. Oh, everybody. Everybody's saying it. This was
Yeah.
a few months ago, and everybody's agreeing right now.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sounds right. Everybody was mapping. And they said, and they
Yeah.
were, it was so creepy. The call was so creepy because everybody knew it was real. And they said that they needed to map all of the stuff that they
Wasn't
were
it
doing
graves,
satellite
cemeteries?
readings beforehand, and they had to get it done quick. They had
Wasn't
to
it
get it.
cemeteries and graves?
Cemetery. Oh my gosh, that was it. Dex. So they had to map out all of the cemeteries and graves by a deadline, and they were pushing and pushing and pushing because all of the dead bodies in... Oh my gosh, all of the dead bodies...
It'd make everybody sick.
But not only that, they would have to map out where everybody's dead went. Because after the Great Flood, everything is going to be different. The cemetery map guy.
Yeah.
We got to find that frickin'... we got to find that episode. Do you guys see how this goes together? The guy called in and it was so real. He basically does this mapping project, and he said that they had to map all the cemeteries and all of all of the dead in the entire West Coast. Oh.
Yeah, nobody pays attention to drones because everybody's flying them now.
Why are they mapping in there then? What is going to happen to the center of the country? Why are they mapping? Are they doing it before and after? Now they've moved from one state to the next?
They're going state by state.
And
Maybe that's the 21 states preparing.
the new Navy map, and even if the new Navy map had nothing to do with it, what if they're mapping a before and after the United States before whatever is going to go down happens? Holy moly.
Wow.
Things like this,
Yes.
and this is months and months ago.
Creepy.
This is what I'm talking about, because we do this every night, and then we get all of you guys bringing in information, and then maybe something comes in and it's just a little tiny thing, but we don't think anything of it. But then somebody else brings in, or some other story that connects to it. That is why I love doing this. That is why I love doing this. That is nuts.
It's an amazing show, and I have just been like, holding on to this information, and I'm going, oh my gosh, it's mind blowing because I know it's just a little piece of the puzzle, but now we're getting a clearer and clearer picture, and it's just mind blowing what's going on.
It's starting to come together.
With all these quakes, we need to be prepared. We know what's coming, and the more information we have, the more knowledge we have, which that means we're in the light. We have more light, we're safer in the light, and we know what's coming, and just really, we got to start paying attention a lot more than what we're doing.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. You have a beautiful night. I always love your calls. We're going to, of course, put your information down on our website as well. We couldn't do without. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks a lot, Adam. You all have a good night, okay?
All right. We'll come over and visit you too. All right. Bye-bye. If you would like to help support us and protect yourself, I would definitely think about an EMP shield. With everything that's going on right now, this is a surefire way. The reason I trust these guys is because these are Keystone tested. They are currently helping the DoD, Homeland Security, and the Texas grid protect themselves. So just makes sense to me that if the military and the government are protecting themselves with them, then it might be smart if we do as well. Instead of having all of your stuff fried, including your ham radio, solar system, your generator, your car, your house, which can all be protected by this, instead of having those all fried, you can actually install one of these and be okay. Again, they make a vehicle model as well. If you have your vehicle and a bug out spot that you want to get to, it's going to be useless if it doesn't work. Again, that is marfooglenews.com/EMP.
You want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens? Go to marfooglenews.com and get Marfoogle alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Foogle fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfoogle fam is waiting for you.